It's the story of a girl who lost the competition but won the world. And today, we're investigating how a teen from Wigan rewrote the rulebook for musical stardom. When Lucy Thomas first stepped onto the stage of The Voice Kids back in 2018, the industry saw her as just another talented child with a dream. At only 14, she delivered a performance of Moon River that was so technically perfect it felt surreal. However, in a shocking turn of events, she didn't walk away with the trophy. In most cases, that's where the story ends, a brief moment of televised glory followed by a return to normal life. But for Lucy, the loss was actually her greatest tactical advantage. While the winner was tied into restrictive contracts, Lucy was free to build her own empire. Behind the scenes, analysts were noticing something strange. Her audition clip wasn't just getting views, it was staying relevant months after the season ended. There was an undeniable magnetism to her poise and vocal control that felt far beyond her years. Reporters at the time noted that she possessed a vintage soul trapped in a modern teenager's body. This was the moment the foundation was laid for what would become a global phenomenon. She bypassed the typical talent show curse by refusing to be a flash in the pan. Instead of chasing quick fame, she went back to the drawing board to cultivate a sound that was timeless rather than trendy. It's a move that many insiders now call one of the smartest career pivots in modern British music history. But as her local fame grew, a much larger power was moving in the shadows, ready to take her voice to every corner of the globe. While the major labels were hunting for the next synthetic pop star, a small, independent powerhouse was quietly building a fortress around the young vocalist. This is where the story takes a turn into the business of music, specifically the role of Cavendish Records. In a world where Universal and Sony dominate the charts, Lucy's partnership with this boutique label was a massive risk. Critics questioned if a small team could provide the reach necessary for a global career, but the strategy was brilliant in its simplicity. They didn't try to make her a teen idol. They didn't force her into flashy outfits or auto-tune tracks. Instead, they focused on high-fidelity recordings of songs that resonated with a cross-generational audience. This wasn't just about making music. It was about building a Lucy Thomas brand that felt prestigious and untouchable. Industry insiders revealed that the label gave her a level of creative freedom rarely seen for artists her age. This allowed her to record 4 full-length albums in record time, each one showing a significant evolution in her vocal maturity. The label's ability to keep her grounded while pushing her digital presence was a masterclass in independent management. There were rumors of major labels trying to buy out her contract, but Lucy stayed loyal to the team that saw her potential first. This loyalty became a cornerstone of her narrative, a girl who stayed true to her roots while her voice traveled across oceans. But even with a solid team, no one could have predicted the sheer scale of the digital explosion that was about to occur on a Saturday afternoon in late 2018. It's a single video that has redefined what it means to be a YouTube star, and the numbers behind it are frankly staggering. We are talking about her cover of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. While thousands of artists have covered this track, Lucy's version hit the algorithm like a lightning bolt. Currently sitting on well over 60 million views, this wasn't just a viral moment, it was a seismic shift in her career trajectory. Digital analysts have pointed out that her retention rates are nearly double the industry average for musical content. People weren't just clicking, they were watching the entire video, often multiple times. This massive influx of data allowed her channel to explode to over 1 million subscribers without the help of traditional radio play. It's a fascinating case study in how a classical crossover artist can dominate a platform usually reserved for gamers and vloggers. Reports show that her primary audience spans from the United States to Southeast Asia, creating a truly global fan base that operates outside the UK media bubble. However, with this level of fame came intense scrutiny. Speculation began to surface about the authenticity of such a young voice, with some skeptics wondering if the recordings were too perfect. Lucy responded the only way she knew how, by releasing raw, live session videos that proved her talent was 100% genuine. This transparency only fueled her growth, turning casual viewers into a dedicated army of supporters. The Hallelujah effect was so strong that it effectively retired the need for her to ever compete on a reality show again. She was now the queen of her own digital domain, but as she entered her 20s, a new challenge was emerging: the transition from a child star to a mature artist. As Lucy entered her early 20s, the angelic child image began to collide with the reality of an evolving artist, leading to a period of intense creative transition. In 2025, the music world was buzzing with rumors that Lucy was ready to ditch her classical roots for a more aggressive pop sound. When she released Don't Walk Away, the response was immediate and divided. Some fans feared she was losing the purity that made her famous, while others hailed it as a necessary evolution. Our sources indicate that this wasn't just a random choice. It was a calculated effort to ensure she wouldn't be pigeonholed as a wedding singer for the rest of her life. During this period, rumors circulated about the intense pressure she felt to maintain her perfect image while navigating the complexities of young adulthood. Reporters noted a shift in her social media presence. It became more personal, more direct. She started sharing the challenges of her journey, including the grueling schedule of recording and the toll of being a public figure. There were whispers of burnout and potential hiatuses, but Lucy pushed through, using those emotions to fuel her original songwriting. This new Lucy Thomas was more grounded, more relatable, and significantly more dangerous to her competitors. She wasn't just a voice anymore. She was a songwriter with something to say. This transition phase was critical because it proved she could survive the awkward years that claimed so many child stars. She emerged in late 2025 not just as a survivor, but as a leader in the classical pop crossover genre. And just when people thought they had her figured out, she made a move toward the theater that left the industry in shock. The bright lights of London's West End have claimed many careers, but for Lucy Thomas, 2026 is the year she officially becomes a theatrical powerhouse. Rumors of her involvement in musical theater had been circulating for years, but the official announcement of her lead role in Rosie sent shockwaves through the community. This isn't just a guest appearance. It's a full-scale residency at the prestigious Adelphi Theater. Insiders who have seen the rehearsals claim that her acting ability is just as refined as her vocals, a rarity for crossover stars. The production of Rosie is a massive financial undertaking, and a significant portion of that weight rests on Lucy's shoulders. We've received reports that ticket sales for the March 2026 premiere broke records for the venue within the first 48 hours of going live. This move into theater represents a strategic diversification of her career. By conquering the West End, she's insulating herself from the volatility of the streaming world. She's becoming a legacy artist before the age of 25. There have been minor controversies regarding her casting, with some theater purists questioning if a YouTube star has the stamina for 8 shows a week. However, those close to the production say her work ethic is unmatched, and that she is often the first to arrive and the last to leave the theater. This 2026 residency is more than just a job. It's a statement. It's Lucy Thomas proving that she can command a live audience just as easily as she commands a digital one. But as London falls under her spell, the rest of the world is wondering when it will be their turn to see the angel in person. As we look toward the final quarters of 2026, the question isn't whether Lucy Thomas is a star, but how much larger her empire can actually grow. Current projections for her 2026 world tour suggest she will be performing in major arenas across Europe, North America, and Asia. There is particular excitement surrounding her reception in Japan, where her albums have consistently outperformed major Western pop stars. Speculation is also mounting about a potential collaboration with a legendary film composer, which could see Lucy's voice featured in a major Hollywood blockbuster by the end of the year. Financially, she is on track to become one of the highest-earning independent artists of her generation. But beyond the money and the fame, there is a deeper story of a girl who stayed the course. We've seen countless child stars struggle with the darker side of the industry, but Lucy has managed to navigate those waters with a level of grace that is frankly unprecedented. There are no exposed scandals or shocking public meltdowns here, just a consistent, dedicated pursuit of vocal excellence. As she prepares for her global tour, critics are already calling her the voice of a generation. Whether she stays in the theater or returns to the recording studio, her impact on the music industry is permanent. She has proven that you don't need a reality show trophy to win the game of life. As 2026 unfolds, Lucy Thomas isn't just a singer from Wigan anymore. She is a global institution. With her West End debut looming and a world tour on the horizon, we have to ask, in an industry that usually breaks its stars, how did Lucy Thomas manage to remain so unbreakable?